It's the 13th and final week of the AUDL regular season as the Philadelphia Phoenix play host to the Toronto Rush. Good evening, everyone, and welcome into James Ramp Complex in Northeast Philadelphia for AUDL.TV. I'm Chris Markowitz, joined by Shaggy. Time today, there's Thorne, who finds Greg Martin. Mott over to Chun Moy.
James Pollard, the other player to watch.
He rips one for Greg Martin, and G-Mart on the board with his first goal of the contest.
Yeah, I don't know if the camera let you see it, but after he threw that, James was a golfer in college. He just lined up his shot and hit a drive downfield. And this has been Philadelphia's strength, what they do after the turn. Their defense has done a really good job racking up breaks this season.
Abrahamson with the touch finds Pastor. Philadelphia looking to capitalize. And in the corner, Trifolis is in for the score, and it's an early break for Philadelphia.
That was beautiful motion. Philly's D-line looking like an O-line. Every time a Philly Phoenix player got the disc, they had their next throw lined up and ready to go. 10 games is plenty of games, you know.
The Toronto Rush, sorry, folks.
The pole goes through the uprights, which gives Toronto great field position for a huck and score. As Mike McKenzie tracks it down for the goal, we're back even at 2.
Everybody else on Toronto, I mean, if he's not touching the disc, it's not a rush point.
Komire, in his 4th season on the squad, has a second high total of 25 assists as this is into the end zone for a score. James Lewis hauls it in for the goal.
Yeah, he's such a prolific goal scorer. You know, maybe you can't play him that tight underneath.
Wilkie Lewis floats one, it hangs, and on the second effort, it's hauled in by his brother, who's in for the goal.
Yeah, it was some confusion with the players on the field. Called a goal. Max gets so high for that. You know, they say catch your D's, and Toronto's not quick enough to respond.
Chun Moy to the close sideline, hauled in by Ryan.
Philadelphia really making tight work in small spaces.
Trissolini to Suvorov, who leaps and hauls it in for the last second score.
And 6 seconds left. It looks like they put a little bit of time on the clock.
Philly forces a turn. Can they score here? 2 seconds to get it off. Owens at the horn. And is Martin in? Yes, sir. Greg Martin with the goal as the clock expires in the first quarter.
What a play by Paul to not only get the hand block, but to pick that disc up and run it out. He might have had seconds to do that, 2-3 seconds tops. They'll give the yards to Philly after the play, kind of giving advantage to the offense.
Trissolini to a wide open Sean Mott. And he wants Pollard. He has him. Score.
The second shot Mott's thrown.
That tough loss against New York. It was just a tough start to the season. Here's a deep shot intended again for Pollard, who has another goal. He cannot be stopped. James Pollard on fire on these deep cuts. 40 spot on the season.
Yeah, they're tussling. That's the real tussle in tonight's game.
We'd have to pull it up in the record book, Shaggy, but I don't know the last time Philadelphia, if they ever did have 2 40-goal scorers in a year, as here's an easy score downfield for Wilkie Lewis, who continues to torch Philadelphia.
I mean, when Phillies had to work hard, they've gotten a little sloppy.
Mott on the far sideline rips a big huck for Martin. Greg Martin hauls it down on another huge huck. And Philadelphia is in business just outside of the end zone. Interesting shot here by Trissolini. It hangs. Suvorov won't win that one, as McKenzie with a monster block in the corner.
Dima wide open, but again, you're hanging throws to Dima.
But Martin with the hustle, the D, and the score. Greg Martin for the 3rd year in a row with 40 or more goals in a season, and what a way to get it with the bookends. To the sideline, there's O'Donnell. Lewis tracks it down, continues to do damage here tonight. Floats a disc for the end zone, and it's broken up by Whitmer.
Yeah, Whitmer is just a demon in the deep space. I mean, he came under that with a fury.
Eric Whitmer with his 14th block of the season came into tonight with the 3rd most blocks on the year for Philadelphia, as he catches the upline from Trifolis and is looking for the end zone. Kalicki Leo brings it in for the score. And Philadelphia, with the break, goes ahead by 3.
And then Toronto's kind of fallen apart here in the second.
Lewis able to make a contested toe grab to keep the disc alive for Toronto, who works it down the sideline for a key score in the closing seconds of the half. Mike McKenzie with the goal. Water, like he's Johnny Chestnut eating hot dogs, is going to have any difference. It's already a liquidy surface with that tomato sauce as Trissolini makes it an incredible diving catch at midfield.
Yeah, great bit. I think he's washing the tomato pie off at that point.
Mott back to Trissolini. Philadelphia's offense trying to stay at the pace they were playing in the first half. Martin, end zone. Huge leap and a score. Greg Martin soars for about 4 seconds to come down with that leap in the end zone. I think we're going to need to see some ID, my friend.
A birth certificate check, you're saying, on Kyle? Kyle, the 9-year-old?
What is this, the Little League World Series? Meanwhile, Toronto right back to work offensively. Lewis with the leaping grab for the score over Trifolis.
Good positioning by James Lewis.
Moy draws the double, but finds Trissolini. Ryan wide open. Up to Mott. Pollard one-on-one. He's got the height advantage, and he has another score.
That's 40 for both, right? The 40-40 club in Philadelphia. Seen that throw, or thought it was coming, and now we'll get to see if Philly's D-line can remain perfect.
Whitmer taking a deep shot. Hannah 2-on-1, and it's swatted away by Lewis. The future is certainly bright here in Philadelphia as Campanella wants to shoot for Hannah.
Well, they'll try it again. I mean, they couldn't get away with it the first time. What a grab by Matt Hannah.
2-for-1 special as Hannah flips for Nardelli and is rewarded with the goal.
Can't believe it. CJ Colicchio to Matt Hannah. Worked not well the first time, much better the second.
Mott with a blade for Ryan. Trissolini on the deep cut. It's a hammer throw that hangs and is swatted away. Great defensive effort in the end zone by Justin Chung. Jack Park with the touch. And Jack Park turned 22 back on July 18th on Tuesday. And will he be awarded with a goal here? No, it's his teammate, Kevin J, with the gorgeous layout grab.
Ooh, that was tough. I'm glad they're both okay. And what a pull from Jay to get in, not only to get the disc, but to end up sliding underneath his teammate. And happy birthday to Park. And I mean, he's done the same for the Phoenix, right? You bring in Roger, it's a good way to solve some problems.
Mott looking for Martin. The leap and grab. He's a yard shy of the score. Chun Moy looking for him. And he has him. Goal number 41 for Martin, who pushes back ahead of Pollard.
What a spectacular catch. I think that's 42 for Greg.
So a narrow lead ahead of James Pollard right now, who's at 40.
Well, good for Greg to keep it. It'll be interesting to see where they end up.
Quick deep shot here for Toronto. McKenzie tracks it down. The rush knocking on the door offensively. Tight throw in for Lewis, but he has it for the score. Kick spike, and Toronto makes it a 4-point game.
Yeah, and Philly, you know, they played such clean offense during the middle of the game. They've had their troubles
Trissolini for Pollard, and he's got goal number 41.
Well, that'll clean up your troubles. Wipe away the sheet if you're just throwing it deep to
Philadelphia with the disc to start. In commanding control right now with a 5-point lead. So no hurry right now from the Phoenix offense. Trissolini has to put it up, and he has Martin in the end zone for another score. Goal number 43 for Greg Martin.
There, the 19-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, the 22-year-olds see what they have. And for an offense, you just want to be clean.
Suvorov with a shot deep for Chun Moy. The leap and the score. What a shot deep by Dmitry Suvorov.
You know, when I'm looking on the field, I'm going to amend that to 4. 6 yards was a crazy thing for me to say. Maybe if I lay out.
Lewis with the grab on a perfect throw. So Adam O'Donnell showing off the skills with another assist.
Tight throw downfield where, you know, a lot of your defense is ready for it.
Contested throw to Trissolini in traffic, so the junk defensive look works for Toronto. It was Armstrong with the block.
Really, Armstrong knew what he was doing. That's it. It's a good poach.
Stonehouse for McKenzie, and Toronto makes it a 5-point contest.
Some of the best fakes in the nation. Just a real fakeroo.
Martin over to Trissolini. Mott pivots, fires. Suvorov, open, goal.
Dima turning on the Jets. I thought that throw was going to be long for him.
It's all about, in my opinion, the initial spacing you could generate on certain cuts. Here's a deep shot downfield that Lewis tracks down. We'll get into this conversation in just a moment. The Rush looking to score here, and they do, as it's Keith McRae with the goal.
Be sure to include yourself in any photos you take tonight.
Here's a deep shot intended for Stonehouse, who hauls it in with one hand. Gorgeous grab in the back of the end zone by Oscar Stonehouse.
And I think Sean Mott might end up with 700 throwing yards and no receiving yards, which is an accomplishment.
5 seconds remaining on the clock as it winds to 0, and that will do it for Philadelphia and Toronto in 2023. Philadelphia improves to 6-6. Toronto falls to 5-7. Both teams missed the playoffs, but Philadelphia finishes the year at 500.